Hello all, Shadwell here, ready to talk about the next film in my collection, Exorcist II, The Heretic from 1977. It's the second film in The Exorcist, the complete anthology, is directed by John Boorman and stars Linda Blair and Richard Burton. So, yeah, I own The Exorcist, the complete anthology, but I own The Exorcist and Legion the Exorcist III separately. But it includes this sequel and the two troubled prequels. It doesn't include the recent sequel, The Exorcist Believer, which I don't own at all. And believe you me, I am not hurting for not owning The Exorcist Believer. I found that film to be so bad that I don't even own it for completionist purposes like I own other franchise films that suck. The Exorcist Believer was just a step too far for me, I guess. I remember being physically angry at the end of it, and speaking of rage, this film, Exorcist II, The Heretic, has the ability to elicit a similar reaction from me. But worse than the feelings of rage it fills me with are the feelings of boredom. It's so bad that this used to be my go-to film when I was having trouble sleeping because it almost never failed to put me the fuck to sleep. In fact, other than one other time, this might be my only time getting through the whole thing in one sitting conscious, and that is not a good sign. When I think of how it has wasted potential, that literally anything could have been a sequel to The Exorcist and been better than this, it just makes me angry. It's like somebody said, hey, we should make a sequel to The Exorcist that's scary, and someone said, no, let's get a bunch of bullshit pseudoscience tech that will make an audience laugh and try to make a horror movie off of that. Because that's what happened. The audience that saw this film at its premiere laughed it off the screen, and why shouldn't they? The uncomfortable anger that arises in one having to watch this film is perfectly answered with laughter at it. Fuck this movie. So hard, with painful torture implements. I loathe this movie with every fiber of my being. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen, full stop. Of course, it used to be the worst thing I had ever seen until I had tried to muddle through The Veil in the early days of this project. That film is utterly incompetent and unforgivable, but this film had people who knew how to make a film. They knew what they were putting out into the world, and they should have to do the shame walk that Cersei did in Game of Thrones. Every last one of them. Unsurprisingly, this film is getting an F- because that is as low as the scale goes. Once again, fuck this movie. Tomorrow it's back to the 50 excellent 80s film with one called Hunk. Sounds promising, especially if it stars David Harbour. See y'all then.